Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's February the 9th, 2023. I am Big Kev from Big Kev's World here coming at you with another video. Um, I was deciding whether or not I wanted to do this or if I didn't. Um, Anybody that knows me knows that I was a huge Bulls fan. I still love the Bulls. Um, Me and my brother, we grew up watching the Chicago Bulls, watching Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, and those cats in Chicago. So I know what LeBron fans, if you see this video, I know you guys are going to think that this is going to be a one sided thing, but I can promise you it's not going to be. Um, I'm going to be fair to LeBron, and I'm going to, regardless of what I am going to say in this video, I want to be stated right here and now that LeBron James is one of the greatest players to ever play this game. His accolades, the way he plays the game, his stats, he just became the all-time scorer, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is an impressive record for a guy who's more known for his assists and rebounding and everything. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the reason why, who the real GOAT of basketball really is. Now, first of all, if you're great at something, you don't broadcast it. You go on you go onto the field where you're football, you go onto the diamond if you're in baseball, you go into the hockey rink if you're a hockey, you go onto that hardwood floor if you're a basketball player, and you show it day in and day out. This is one of the reasons why what I'm about to show you is one of the reasons why I have more respect for Michael than I do LeBron. And hold on a second here. Here's the deal. Let's watch this here. Let me see. Let me get this up here. Present. Share screen. Okay. So we're going to share screen this. This is LeBron after they were down 3-0 against the Golden State Warriors. And he came back to Cleveland. LeBron came out and said that he is the greatest of all time. And he even said it with Shaquille O'Neal the other night. I don't know if any of y'all saw it, but here it is.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what
many
I felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years. Everything in sports had gone on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
All right, so let's go with Michael's response to that. This is what you're really supposed to do.
I beg to differ, and I'll give a different analogy to that because, first of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. To me, I think that's more for PR and more for selling stories and getting hype. Jack and Tiger never played against each other. They never played in the same tournament. They never played with the same equipment. They never played with the same length of golf course. I never played against Will Chamberlain. I never played against Jerry West. To now say that one's greater than the other is being a little bit unfair. I beg to differ. And
all right, so you guys saw that right there. LeBron came out and admitted that he is the greatest player of all time. Michael Jordan, what Jordan said is correct. Both guys did not play in the same era with each other. By the time Jordan retired with the Wizards, the next year after that, LeBron came in as a rookie for Cleveland. So to say that Michael and LeBron, you can't really do that because one was a shooting guard, one was a small forward or point forward or what do you want to call him. Now they did play a game with each other once. From what I've heard, Michael and LeBron played a pickup game once. Now nobody knows if they were on the same team or if they were away from each other or they were on different sides of the bat. This is right before LeBron joined the NBA. There's like a picture floating around of them or something like that. But this kind of debate is more like a barbershop talk. It's not like it's. This is what I'm looking for here. You guys have been on ESPN. You guys have been on Fox Sports. You see how they are. Skip Bayless, his debates about that with Shannon Sharp are dumb. Skip Bayless, is his points when he talks about the Jordan LeBron bait. He just really talks shit about LeBron. It really doesn't give LeBron enough credit where credit's due. It's all about Michael. The difference between him and Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. Smith gives LeBron all the props in the world, but in his heart, Michael Jordan is the greatest to ever play the game. Now, LeBron has had a longer career than Michael. LeBron has, he's had a longer career. He's played more games than Michael has. He has an Olympic gold medal too. LeBron's also got a couple of championships. LeBron's also got some MVPs, and he's also now the number one scorer leader in NBA history by passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those are accolades that you could be proud of. But looking at LeBron's NBA Finals record compared to Michael, and yes, people, we're going to dig into that because LeBron's NBA Finals record, his first stint in the NBA Finals was in 2006. Let me look here. Yeah, 2006 and 7. They got swept by the San Antonio Spurs. At that time, Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and those guys were just, LeBron was young. San Antonio was just powerful, bigger, stronger. And that's that. So LeBron decides to take his talents to South Beach. Hold on a second now. He takes his talent to South Beach. Now, LeBron decides to go to Miami, joins Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. They have this super team. 2010, 2011, they go to the NBA Finals and lose to the Dallas Mavericks in 6. So now LeBron's 0-2. That next year, they come back. They go to the NBA Finals. They face the Oklahoma Thunder. That was Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. They beat them in 5. So now LeBron's got his first NBA Finals. The next year, he comes back again, faces that same San Antonio Spurs, and they won in 7. So now LeBron's 2-2 in the NBA Finals. Then he comes back the next year after that with the Miami Heat and goes and loses the NBA Finals to 5 games to that same San Antonio Spurs team. So now LeBron at this point is 2-3 in the NBA Finals. It's impressive from 2010 to 2014. He went to 4 straight NBA Finals. He could have made his mark by winning all 4 of those. That would have been impressive. Don't get me wrong. Going to all 4 is impressive, but if you don't win those 4, is not that impressive at that point. It loses the luster. I mean, it's impressive to go, but you don't want to go just to go. I mean, you want to win the damn thing. So then, okay, then he joins back to Cleveland. So now he goes to his 5th straight NBA Finals here and loses to the Golden State Warriors in 6. So now LeBron's 2-4 in the NBA Finals. So then he comes back and he goes to his 6th straight NBA Finals. That's impressive. 6 straight NBA Finals appearances from a span of 2010 to 2016. Actually, correction. Let me look at this. He went from a span from 2010 all the way to 2000. Wow. Okay. So, the fact that he's been to all these NBA Finals all straight ahead is impressive. But now we're looking at the Golden State Warriors. He comes back. They were down 3 games. They come back. They beat Golden State. So now LeBron wins his 3rd NBA championship. So then in 2016-17, they're back in the NBA Finals again. They lose to that same Golden State Warriors team in 5. 17 and 18, they go back into the NBA Finals again and lose to Golden State Warriors, and they get swept. So now LeBron decides to join the Los Angeles Lakers, and then we have the whole COVID and the whole bubble debacle, and they face Miami against a younger Miami Heat team, and they won in 6. So LeBron gets his 4th championship. LeBron's got his 4th championship. But so if you look at it, let's see here. He's won 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 4-5 in the NBA Finals. The fact that he's been to a lot of NBA Finals is impressive, but he's lost 5. Here's where the debate gets a little interesting, because Michael won 3 NBA championships. The first 3 Pete the Bulls had. Then another impressive fact, Michael comes back from playing baseball. His body's in baseball shape. He comes back that next year, that 95-96 Bulls team, 72-10. They come in there and they do another 3-peat, which is not heard of in the NBA. So now Michael does 2 3-peats. That is very hard to do in a league like that. So now Michael has never been to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals, and he's never lost an NBA Finals. Now, if you guys ever, some of y'all NBA fans or sports fans, if y'all did watch the documentary that's on Netflix, The Last Dance, Michael really wanted to know how it was to lose an NBA Finals. So LeBron has lost 5. Jordan's 6-0 in the NBA Finals. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Well, LeBron went to a bunch. That's impressive. But let me explain something to you. Reason why LeBron is the all-time leading scorer, and I was looking at this today, Michael Jordan in 1984 played all 82 games. All 82 games. Averaging 30 points a game. So then the 85 season, Michael hurts his foot. He's out. And he only plays 18 games. 18 games in his sophomore season. Only 18 games because of that injury. Imagine if Michael would have had 82 games at that point. 86, Michael, 86, 87 season, Michael has 82 games. That 87, 88, he was playing 82 games. Let me clarify something here. Then the 87, 88, this is something here. Michael Jordan has been all defense 9 times in his career. Tell me a guy who not only won the NBA All-Star MVP that year, won his second slam dunk back-to-back, won 2 things, won a scoring title, won the MVP, and was Defensive Player of the Year, all in the same year. All in the same year. In a league that was for big men. The Boston Celtics then had, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Dennis Johnson, Bill Walton on the defense. LA had Showtime, Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, Byron Scott, AJ Green. Then you had the bad boy Pistons with Sally and Mahorn and Bill Lambier, Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas. The Sixers were good. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cavaliers had Brad Daugherty, Craig Elo, Ron Harper. These were teams. And in Milwaukee, the Bucks were good at that point too. Atlanta had Dominique Wilkins, and had Kevin Willis and those guys. So then you had the New York Knicks, Ewing in the company. So Jordan was playing in a league where at that point it was all about Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. And yeah, the Detroit Pistons came out of nowhere. They spoiled what was groomed. Jordan was groomed to be that next guy. And Detroit came in there and they spoiled it. I don't like doing what-if scenarios, and I don't. But if Scottie Pippen didn't get that migraine in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1990, we could have saw the Bulls go to Portland and got their 4th peat. They could have beaten Portland then. And here's another thing too. Let's look at the NBA Finals here. LeBron, yeah, he did beat the Golden State Warriors. I give him credit where credit's due. Look at the people he's faced in the NBA Finals. Okay, he's beaten the Golden State Warriors. Okay. He beat a young Miami Heat team that was okay. He beat the Oklahoma Thunder that had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. He beat an aging San Antonio Spurs team and still lost to that San Antonio Spurs team the year afterwards when Tim Duncan's on his last career and his last leg, and so was Ginobili and Parker. So, but look at what Michael faced. Michael faced a Los Angeles Lakers team that Magic Johnson at that time was still like early 30s. Before, he was still in his early 30s before the HIV thing happened. And Michael went and beat him in 5. They beat the Lakers in 5. Then the next year afterwards, they faced a very good Portland Trailblazers team. Clyde Drexler, who was in the prime of his career, Michael beat them in 6. And then in 93, they faced the Phoenix Suns. Charles Barkley wins MVP. Charles Barkley, at that point, you were the most valuable player in the NBA. The Bulls beat the Phoenix Suns. So now let me clarify that right there. Jordan decides, his father passes away. His father gets murdered. Jordan decides to leave basketball, go play baseball. But in the 93-94 season, that Bulls team was still not bad. But I've always said if the Bulls had an opportunity, if Jordan never retired, and he would have played 82 games that year and then the 82 games in the 94-95 season and didn't get hurt in that 85-86 season, do you really honestly think LeBron would be the scoring champion right now? The record would have already been broke. If you don't believe me, Michael is one of the best scorers to ever play this game. I don't care who you are or what you are. Kobe's a close second because they had that killer mentality, killer shark mentality. So when the Bulls decided to repeat again, they based a very prime Sean Kemp and a very prime glove Gary Payton, and they beat 2 back-to-back NBA Finals against a very good and very well-coached Utah Jazz team, which Karl Malone won MVP that 96-97 season. And John Stockton, Jeff Hornacek. It's hard to play in Utah. That crowd's... Let me tell you something right now. Michael Jordan was the type of guy who, if the ship is sinking, Michael's going to go down fighting no matter what. I've seen some of LeBron's teams get put out in the first round or the Eastern Conference Finals. I've seen them get put out. And LeBron walks away. He walked away from his team. He walked away from his teammates. That's the kind of guy, what he does on the court, what LeBron does on the court, it's impressive. But as an individual, he's a piece of trash. Plain and simple. Michael Jordan, when he played the game, he represented the league in the way it needed to be represented. He had its style. He had grace. He had the suits on. He came in there and he didn't demand respect. He took it. He earned it. Okay, so Derby Entertainment. Oh, cool. Well, I'm not done with that yet. You can give me a chance to. So Michael had a great coach in LeBron James. Michael had Phil Jackson, players like Dennis Rodman. Well, let's see this much here. Robert Parrish, John Paxson, Ron Harper. Ron Harper was on the last leg of his career when he played with the Bulls. Robert Parrish was on the last leg on his career. Dennis Rodman, give you that. Horace Grant was good. Michael did have help with Scottie Pippen. Once Pippen became that elevation, that's when the Bulls were able to pass the Pistons. I don't like saying this debate because you want to know why I don't like doing this debate? But you also got to understand the league was different around the time Michael played compared to LeBron. Jordan had wars with guys who were his friends. The wars he had with the Knicks, the wars he had with the Pistons. Those big teams that he had to go up against. The Pacers, his last year with the Bulls, the Pacers took them to a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Almost beat Chicago. They almost beat Chicago. They were coached by Larry Bird. And the Pacers were loaded. They were loaded. And they had tougher, the league was tougher then. Very tough then. You know, the defense was tougher. They have more stuff that they can do. Nowadays, it's a scoring league now. When Jordan joined, it was a big man's league. When Jordan got drafted, it was a big man's league. Jordan also does have a school that he has a little summer camp that he does as well. So LeBron's not the only person that does the summer camps. Michael has one too. Now, not taking away anything here, LeBron, the difference between Jordan and LeBron is Michael didn't want to play on a super team with Magic. He wanted to kill Magic. He didn't want to play with the Celtics with Bird. He wanted to kill Larry Bird. He didn't want to go and play with the Sixers or the Suns with Charles Barkley. No, he wanted to kill Barkley. Him and Patrick Ewing are good friends. He didn't want to join the Knicks and play with Patrick Ewing. Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe Bryant are the most selfish players. They can be. Michael can be selfish. I'm not going to deny that. But yet at the same time, you're over here talking and not letting me finish this whole entire conversation. So Dwayne Wade was an all-star. Bosh was an all-star. Wade was also a part of a Olympic team. So pretty much Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh were bigger names, were better players than Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant, Steve Kerr, and all that. Now, are they better than Scottie Pippen? No. So Scottie Pippen was the main guy for the Bulls with Michael. So I will give that where it's at because that is true. But see, this is the thing. I don't hate LeBron. And that's the funny thing about this whole situation. If you go back in the beginning of my video, this is where some of you who just love LeBron tend to forget shit. When you do this and you go on national television and you say, I'm the greatest player to ever play the game, great people, athletes, don't say it out loud. They go on to their respective places and they show it. It's really not a fair debate because Michael and LeBron never got to play each other. They never played in the same era. So it's not a real fair assessment for either one because neither one got to play in the same era as the other one did. It's the same exact situation. So regardless of what you think, you can't really make that debate. And the one thing I will honestly say, any interview I've ever seen Jordan do, Jordan has never said that he was the greatest player to ever play the game. Because he has said the same thing that I'm saying now. He said, look, that's not a fair assessment because he never got to play against Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and all those guys in the 70s and the 60s. So he can't go out and say, hey, I'm the greatest ever. He never got to play Wilt Chamberlain. So for LeBron to come out and say he's the greatest player to ever play this game without really playing in that same era and that same thing against Michael. And do you really honestly think that Miami Heat team with Bosh and Dwayne Wade would have beaten that Chicago Bulls team in the Eastern Conference Finals? Nope. Because one, Rodman would have been inside Bosh's head and James's head. Scottie Pippen was one of the best defenders in the league, so they would have had him on LeBron. And Michael was one of the best defenders in the league. They would have had him on Dwayne Wade. Some of y'all are missing the narrative on that. Facts are facts. It's impressive, though. LeBron's been to all these NBA finals, though, with 3 different teams. Impressive. Very impressive. But see, that's the thing. Michael didn't have to go. I mean, yeah, Michael played with the Wizards, but that was a bad idea. But even at the age of 40, he was still averaging 20-something points a game. At the age of 40. I mean, people can say what they want about the whole situation, but the man averaged 20-something points a game while in his 40s. In a league that had Kobe, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and all those guys too. So I think in that situation, that's impressive to me. We never got to know. And if you've seen The Last Dance, we never got to know. I wish the Bulls would have came back. I wish that they would have went into that 98-99 season during the lockout. I wish that they would have came back and they would have seen if whether or not they can do a four-peat. Maybe they wouldn't have. Maybe they would have. Maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. But LeBron's played more seasons than Michael has. You take away the injury he had when he played with the Wizards. He only played the first season with the Wizards. He only played 62 games, like 60-something games. When he came back in 94 and 95, he just came back from baseball. He only played 17 games that season. And then in the 85-86, his sophomore season, he gets a broken foot and only plays 18 games. Michael also dropped 63 points on a Boston Celtic team that was loaded. Michael's had the big shots. And you want to talk about that? Well, let me ask you a question. Has Michael ever walked out on his teammates when they lost a series? Had he ever walked off the court or put a thing over his head in shame? No. You can't answer that because he's never done it. Has LeBron done that? Yep. So who's more the prima donna? People want to call Michael and Kobe selfish. Here's the thing about those two guys. They both had this killer instinct. They had this shark mentality where if they're going to go down, they're going to go down guns a-blazing. LeBron's more of a team player. That's why he was considered a point forward. LeBron's more of a team player. LeBron was a lot like Magic, but better scorer than Magic was, obviously. So LeBron is a guy who, I mean, he can play some defense, but I really haven't seen LeBron try to play really great defense. Michael and Kobe were out there guarding the best players every single night they got on the court. And when Jordan played those 2 seasons with the Wizards, Jordan was over there guarding guys like Paul Pierce. Jordan was still guarding Kobe Bryant. Jordan was still doing all this stuff, guarding Vince Carter, guarding Tracy McGrady, and all these guys. At the age of 40. Yeah, we have Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant's one of the best players in the league. But let's face facts. LeBron's in LA. He has Anthony Davis, who's an all-star guy, and he had Russell Westbrook, and he couldn't even get to the playoffs last year with that loaded team. With those 3 guys, they couldn't even get to the playoffs. So you can go ahead and throw that out there all you want. But LeBron in his later years, and Michael compared to his later years, Michael played on a Wizards team that only had Rip Hamilton 1 year and Jerry Stackhouse with him the other year. And you know what's interesting about that situation? LeBron's got two. Well, they just traded Russell Westbrook, but LeBron had 2 All-Stars on his team on the Lakers, and they couldn't even get to the playoffs last year. He had 2 All-Stars with him. I mean, there you go. Well, you want to come on here and say some stuff, then you can say all you want. Yeah, Michael played with the greatest coach to ever play this game in Phil Jackson. And so did Kobe, so did Shaq. But I can tell you this. There's also situations where you can't really compare the two. And the reason why I don't like comparing them both, my thing is, I don't care what you do on the court, I respect LeBron. To get to that many NBA finals, even though he lost 5, to get to those many NBA finals is impressive. And to do it with 3 different teams. No one can take that away from LeBron. I'm not going to take that away from LeBron. I think LeBron's one of the top 5 greatest players to ever play this game. He's in my top 5. That's how much respect that I have for LeBron. You know, that's something LeBron fans say. They always say that most of us people like us are like nostalgic. We all nostalgic. Let me ask you something. If we can we can put like a time machine and put LeBron James on the Bulls against that Detroit Piston Bad Boys team, do you think honestly they would even be able to beat the Pistons? Nope. Because LeBron wouldn't be able to handle the abuse that Michael took on that field, on the court. That's facts. So, in order for you to kind of, I know the younger generation, you guys are going to say LeBron, and that's fine. And that's perfectly okay, because this is what's great about stuff like this, is you can have your opinion. People can have their different opinion. It's not one of those you're right, you're wrong scenarios. It's the same way with the NFL. Like some of us older cats, we thought Joe Montana was one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. So a lot of people think Tom Brady is, because of how many rings Tom Brady's got. It's accolades that put you up in the pedestal of things. LeBron has given up on his teammates before. LeBron has had to go to 2 different teams and have a super team around him in order to win a championship. Michael had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman toward the end of his career. Rodman just played mind games, rebound, and played defense. That's all Dennis Rodman did. When LeBron went back to Cleveland, he had Kyrie Irving, he had Kevin Love, a little bit of firepower in Cleveland. When he went to Miami, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. He went to LA, Anthony Davis. So, y'all want to throw out the whole, well, Michael had Scotty, he had Horace, he had Dennis Rodman. Scottie Pippen wasn't an all-star until 1990. As a matter of fact, Scottie Pippen didn't become Scottie Pippen until 1991, when they finally swept those Detroit Pistons to go to the NBA Finals. Michael's had 10 to 11 scoring championships. Michael's been all defensive player 9 times. Let me ask you this. Do you know a player who can win an MVP, win a scoring title, and win Defensive Player of the Year all in the same year? It's not LeBron. I could tell you that. It was Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, 87, 88. Look it up. Seriously, look it up. Because I'm going to tell you right now. That Bulls team, when they went to, when Michael and Scotty went to the Dream Team Olympics in 92, they had Tony Kukoc, who was going to be on their team. They were killing that kid because their general manager loved that guy so much. And that NBA Dream Team, let me go ahead and clarify that one. The wars that they had during practice, and if you ever see the Dream Team documentary, which I highly recommend you do before you come in here and start doing all this, look at the wars that they had. I'm talking about Hall of Famers on there. You had Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Karl Malone. I don't count Christian Laettner because he was just a college kid, and I don't count Christian Laettner on that. But he was saying like, so you're saying, let me look at this. You're thinking that Ron Harper, Steve Kerr, Horace Grant, and Dennis Rodman were more respected than Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Horace Grant didn't become an all-star until 93, 94. Dennis Rodman is well respected because he was the worm. He was one of the best defenders, best rebounders in the league. You really honestly think that Golden State Warriors team that won all those games would have beaten that Bulls team from 95, 96? Get the fuck out of here. Steph Curry would be having Michael Jordan in his face all series long. Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman would switch back and forth on Kevin Durant. It's easy to rattle Kevin Durant's cage. See, that's the problem with the NBA this league. There's not a lot of competition. There's not a lot of hitting. There's not a lot of players out there. The Patrick Ewing New York Knicks team in the 90s that was coached by Pat Riley, that's another obstacle that Jordan had to overcome to get there. See, LeBron had it made. LeBron went right out of high school, didn't go to college, went to the NBA. He played more seasons than Michael has. Because, as I stated before, 85, 86, Michael in his sophomore year had that broken foot. He only played 18 games. His father gets murdered, decides to retire. 93, 94, he doesn't play at all. 94, 95, he comes back and only plays 17 games. Just imagine. Michael didn't get hurt that sophomore year. He would have played all 82 games. Michael didn't retire. Would have played all 82 games in 93, 94. And 94, 95, he would have played all 82 games. And if the Bulls didn't disband because Jerry Krause was a moron and an idiot to disband a team that got him 2 3-peat championships. Let me ask you something. Has LeBron went and three-peated twice. No, he hasn't. Come back to me when LeBron's won 6 championships or more than 6 championships. Then we'll talk. But think about it this way: if the Bulls, if the NBA didn't have that lockout, the Bulls would have stayed intact for the 98-99 season. Jordan would have played another 82 games right there. And do you think LeBron would have had the scoring title then? I mean, Kobe got hurt there toward the end of his career. Kobe probably could have passed Kareem. The thing is, LeBron goes out there and says that he's the greatest. Michael went out there and showed that he was the greatest. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't go out there and show that he's the greatest. What I'm saying is that if you really are that great at something, you don't have to spill it out to the whole entire world. I'm the greatest basketball player to ever live. You go out there and you get it done. Period. You go out there, you get it done. You can say what you want. And I don't think LeBron was better than Kobe. I'll throw it out there. I don't. The defense that Kobe played, the defense Michael played, they went out there, they guarded the best players every night while scoring all those points on the other side of the ball. So they might have been selfish. In some people's eyes, that's selfish. It's all about trusting your teammates, too. Michael, if you watch the documentary with the Bulls, Last Dance, Michael didn't trust his teammates until you stepped up and showed him that he could trust you. And that's the thing. Michael went into an NBA Finals and faced the very best in their prime. That's something that can't be taken away from him. And he doesn't go out there all the time and say he's the greatest and blah, 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 because that's not the type of person Michael is. That's not who he was. So I'm gonna play this one here toward the end. My thing is this. This is my last words before I play this little clip here for you. LeBron will go down as one of the greatest players to ever play this game. He will go down as one of the greatest players to ever play this game. Does he have a killer instinct? No. Has he given up on his teammates? Yes. Does he come off like a selfish asshole? Yes. Is he a team guy? Does he contribute the ball around? Absolutely. Is he a bona fide Hall of Famer in the future? Yes. I will give LeBron where credit's due. But that's the thing. Majority of you some of you who are LeBron fans, you won't give Michael that same accolation that I just gave LeBron. You'll just say LeBron's better. He's got a school. He does this for charity. He does this. He does that. Don't you think Michael didn't do stuff for charity too? I mean, when you think basketball, a lot of younger guys are going to think LeBron. But when you really think about it globally, when Michael went to Barcelona to play for the Dream Team, it was all about Michael Jordan. To these people in France and Barcelona, they were all about Michael. They wanted to come and see Michael play. You know that Michael unless Michael had an injury or unless Kobe Bryant had an injury, they didn't miss a game. They didn't take a rest. LeBron's done that because they wanted that player. Kobe said it best. The kid that's sitting out there right now paying that ticket to come watch me play, probably never seen me play before, and it's my duty as that person to go out there and play for them. That's how Michael felt too. But there's been some time LeBron has gotten tired and he wanted to take a break for a game or two. And you know what? LeBron's a big physical specimen. Dude's tall, he's big, he's strong. You know, Michael never was really a three-point shooter because then that was a big man's league then. Michael was a better free throw shooter than LeBron. Michael's had more highlights than LeBron. Michael's won all defensive player of the year. LeBron hasn't. LeBron might be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, but Michael's won 10, 11 scoring titles. Michael's 6-0 in the NBA Finals. LeBron's 4-5. I mean, I know I'm probably going to get some heat from LeBron fans, and it's fine. But I'm just letting you guys know I respect LeBron as a player. As an individual, no, I don't. LeBron is not a guy who I respect as an individual. And some of the stuff that he has said on his Twitter, he really shouldn't be saying because you're an athlete. Athletes are paid to play the game and to entertain everybody who's watching at home and people who are paying a ticket to come see them play. Michael did stuff for charity. Michael has a school and a camp. I don't know where you think LeBron's the only person to have one. Derpy Entertainment. Let me know when Jordan built a school for kids and funds high schools or universities. Michael did fund. You know, he went to the University of North Carolina. He gives back all the time to the University of North Carolina. So that's something that Michael's also giving away stuff to privileged kids who can't afford to buy stuff. I've seen Michael give away stuff as well. So Michael's done a lot of big things for charity too. And for you to sit there and say LeBron's the only, tell me when Jordan's done this, tell me when LeBron's done that. There's no argument in that fight, dog. But I'm going to play this right here. These are 15 NBA legends. 15 NBA legends who think that who's going to give you their opinion on who the GOAT really is.
It's your boy YG, aka Ngala, and when you're talking about who is the GOAT, it's going to be a forever topic because so many people have different opinions, and there's so many legends that dominated their time when they were in the game, but we see them on live television. That's why some people say Kareem is the GOAT, while other people say Jordan's the GOAT. We just go by what we see at the time, and at this point, a lot of people haven't even seen Michael Jordan play on live television.
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all never got to see Michael Jordan play. Some of y'all may not have got to see Kareem play. And that's why people have different opinions about this because they've seen Michael. They didn't see Michael play. They went back and watched highlights. You know, go on YouTube and watch LeBron fans go back and watch Jordan's highlights and watch their facial expressions.
So of course some people's gonna say LeBron is the GOAT or Kobe, but that's what makes the GOAT debate fun, because people get to argue what they seen with their own two eyes. So why not listen to 15 legends who are actually in the league pick who's the GOAT? So before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
I'm just gonna say this: any media person that I see in person for the rest of my life who try to tell me LeBron James is good as Michael Jordan, I'm just gonna slap the hell out of him right on the spot. Right on the damn spot. No question asked. The next person who walks up to me and say, LeBron James, who is amazing, as good as Michael Jordan, or competes like Michael Jordan, I'm just gonna slap the hell out of you right on the spot. And I'm gonna take my chances with the judicial system.
Michael Jordan, and yet it bothers you when people talk about him as being the greatest player of all time.
Well, it bothers me because we all have our opinions, and I don't think that, commensurate with what he's doing, what he's done, and how the game is going today, that he's better than Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Bill Russell, a number of people.
5 years ago, it was always who's greater, who's going to be the greatest, him or Jack, and that conversation is pretty much over to most people.
I beg to differ, and I'll give a different analogy to that, because first of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. To me, I think that's more for PR and more for selling stories and getting hype. Jack and Tiger never played against each other. They never played in the same tournament. They never played with the same equipment. They never played with the same length of golf course. I never played against Will Chamberlain. I never played against Jerry West. To now say that one's greater than the other is being a little bit unfair. I think when you can see the similarities and you understand, this is one way you can judge the two. How much impact did each change or evolve the game? Jack doing his time.
Oh, and by the way, let me clarify something else too. Look at the ratings the NBA had when Michael Jordan was playing with the Chicago Bulls, and you tell me how much ratings have went down with LeBron James in the NBA. That NBA Finals that they had when he played with the Lakers against Miami Heat had the lowest ever NBA Finals rating. So Michael changed the game. Michael changed the NBA forever. LeBron hasn't done that. LeBron's not a needle mover like Michael is. Just wanted to throw that one out there to you.
When he played with Tiger during his time. Now, obviously Jack won more during the time he played. Tiger evolved it to where it was, it crossed a lot of different boundaries, where it's not just a white guy's sport. The black guys, Afro-American, all the minorities play the game. And you play it at a level to where it generated so much interest financially that it grew the game from a financial standpoint. Now, does that constitute him being the greatest? Or does that mean he's any less than Jack? I think is unfair. Yeah, Jack probably has 18 majors and Tiger's got 14. And I think those are when, that's how people are judging certain things. I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras. So when you try to equate who's the greatest of all time, it's an unfair parallel. It's an unfair choice. And I think, those are the demons that, obviously Tiger had to live with, and he's going to be challenged and he's going to be graded upon that. But for me, I think they're both great. I would never say one is greater than the other. That's me. That's my opinion.
Okay.
What do you reckon? Fine. No, I'm the best. Michael's second best. LeBron.
I'd like to say congratulations to Chicago also. Michael Jordan is truly the greatest of our time. No other athlete could have done what he did this year, sustaining his concentration despite doing everything that he wanted to do with all the distractions. Just great performance by Michael Jordan.
Our resident legend, Isaiah Thomas, says you are the greatest basketball player of all time. Is that true?
I don't think there's any way that we can determine who the greatest player of all time is. I saw so many of the guys in your piece that you just ran, and none of them saw Wilt Chamberlain play. Someone who averaged 50 points a game, scored 100 points in one game. They have no idea of how he did it. They didn't see Bill Russell strangle the league for 11 championships.
See, that's it right there, guys. That's the thing. That's my whole entire thing about this whole debate. Reason why I wanted to do this video, because it's people like Derpy Entertainment who came in here and started throwing shade at Michael and throwing shade at, talking about LeBron and throwing shade at Michael. See, I wasn't going to do that. That was not my intention with this video. What I was trying to get with this is that it's unfair to say that because Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell's won 11 championships. Michael's won 6. Like Michael said, is it fair to say that Michael's better than Bill Russell? Because some of us didn't get to see Bill Russell play or Wilt Chamberlain play. So it's an unfair thing. It's like in golf. Like with Jack and then Tiger Woods. Jack's got 18 majors, Tiger Woods had 14. But is it fair to say that he's better? No. It's the same thing with this. Is it fair to say Michael's better than LeBron? No. Because Michael was a shooting guard, LeBron's a small forward. They played in different eras at different times. We can't do a flux capacitor and a time machine and bring Michael into this league. But I can tell you right now, guys who played with Michael, like Scotty, like Dennis, guys who know Michael, like Shaq and all the other guys, Reggie Miller and all of them, they call Michael Black Jesus for a reason. Michael's the type of guy who would come in, go into your locker room and tell you that he's going to drop 50 on you, and he would drop 50 on you. I don't see LeBron doing that kind of thing. That's just the kind of instinct Michael had. Michael struck fear in his opponents and his team that he faced. LeBron doesn't strike that fear. Kobe had it, but Michael had it more. That fear that you're going to have to go up and face that guy across the way, knowing that he's going to do everything in his power to have his team win. All he cared about was winning. He didn't care about the accolades. He didn't care about that kind of stuff. He used stuff like that to motivate him. When Charles Barkley won the MVP the year that the Suns faced the Bulls, Michael used that as motivation. Say, okay, you guys think Charles is the MVP? Okay, well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's what he did. See, LeBron doesn't prove people wrong. Michael didn't have to go and leave the Bulls and join another team to play with 2 or 3, 4 different All-Stars to win a championship. Yeah, Scotty got better. Scotty became really good in 1990. He started to develop himself. And yes, Michael has went on to say that he wouldn't be where he was at without Scottie Pippen. He's giving Scottie Pippen credit too. And that's the funny thing about this whole thing with but it's okay to, if you think LeBron is better than Michael, that is okay. That's perfectly fine to feel that way. Because some of you probably never watched the Bulls. You probably never watched Jordan back then. Because you were probably still either A, not born, or B, you just didn't watch it during that time. Some of you have watched LeBron. And it's like that. Some people watch Kobe and they didn't get to see Michael and they think Kobe's the greatest. And then it's an unwinnable debate. All I can say is this. Because Derpy Entertainment had to come on here and shoot his mouth off. All right. Tell me when LeBron could win an MVP win a championship, win an MVP, win an NBA All-Star MVP, and win a scoring title and become Defensive Player of the Year all in the same year and win a slam dunk competition at the same time. Then you come back and you talk to me about that. You come back and you talk to me when LeBron gets more than 6 rings. You come back and you tell me when LeBron can actually stay with one team and actually win a championship instead of taking his talents elsewhere to basically play with super teams and to play with his friends. See, that's the thing. Michael and Kobe, they didn't want to play with their friends. They wanted to kill their friends. They wanted to go out there and annihilate every single friend that they had. Hell, when I played schoolyard basketball with my buddies back then, I didn't want to be on their team. I wanted to kill them. I wanted to prove that I was better than them. It brings out competition. Michael brought out competition. Michael brought out the best in the guys that he faced. He brought out the best in Reggie Miller. He brought out the best in Clyde Drexler and Karl Malone and Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, and those guys. He brought out the best in them because they wanted what he had. Period. Michael's given LeBron his credit. LeBron going to all these NBA championships, winning the all-time scoring list, being on the all-time scoring list, that is an impressive feat that will be on his career mantle forever. And he will be a bona fide Hall of Famer. There's no denying that. But they're playing in 2 different eras, and some of you younger cats, you don't understand that you can't just take LeBron and put him back in the late 80s and early 90s. Do you think LeBron would have the same success that he had now? I can tell you this much. Most of these NBA legends will tell you if Michael played with this kind of defense they had now, Michael would be averaging 50 points a game against most of these young guys. If you take that Jordan from the 90s and put him in this league now, Michael would dominate people. Because not only would he be scoring on them, but he'd be over there shutting down the best of the best. He'd be out there defending. Because that's a type of competitor. That's a type of drive and will that Michael had. Michael wanted his teammates to be that way as well. LeBron doesn't elevate his team. Yeah, he's a facilitator. Yeah, he passes. He rebounds. He's a better rebounder than Michael. And yeah, he's a better passer than Michael. But does LeBron make his teammates better? That's the question. Michael motivated his teammates. Kobe motivated his teammates. Does LeBron do the same? And that's what you got to look yourself in the mirror. I'm Big Kev for Big Kev's World. I'm signing out. I'm pretty much going to say in this ending this the GOAT bait, we can all talk about, it could be Michael, it could be Kobe, it could be LeBron. Some of the older gentlemen that I've talked to have said Kareem. Some have told me Wilt Chamberlain. Some have told me Bill Russell. Some think Magic and Larry are the greatest of all time. It's going to be one of those debates. It's going to be a barbershop talk. It's going to be talks all around the world. But I can tell you from my personal experience and watching the NBA at a young age and watching it with my brother, my older brother, and watching, there is nobody that I've seen from a standpoint level up here all the way top notch. I have not seen anybody better than Michael Jordan. Period. He made you want to drink Gatorade. He's the guy that when I went to school back then in junior high and high school, we were all wearing the Jordans. Everybody had to get the Jordan pairs. Michael took the NBA globally. That's what Michael did with the NBA. He made the NBA go up globally. That's the kind of stuff that Michael brought to the table in the NBA. We want to talk about accolades. We want to talk about this and that, but let's talk about that, for example. He's been a five-time NBA. He's been a five-time MVP. Probably should have won more than 5, but he's a 5-time most valuable player. He's won 2 slam dunk competitions. He's won a national college championship. He's an NCAA champion. He's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in basketball. He's won 6 NBA championships. Never lost an NBA championship. Michael's also won 6 NBA Finals MVPs. He's also won 3 NBA All-Star MVPs. He's been a scoring champion 10 or 11 times. He's been the NBA All-Defensive Team 9 or 10 times. He's won Defensive Player of the Year 2 or 3 different times. And he played against guys like Magic and Larry and Dominique Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, Isaiah Thomas, Karl Malone, Clyde Drexler. These are all Hall of Famers. These are all Hall of Famers that Michael had to face. So we want to end that debate there. I'll end it there. I'll say it right now. In my eyes, in my personal opinion, Michael is the greatest player to ever play the game, and Kobe is number 2, in my opinion. Well, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Remember to be respectful, because I'm not going to be like, if you are a LeBron fan and you get mad about it and stuff like that, I'm okay with debates. I don't mind them. But just to let you guys know, I do respect LeBron as a player. I think LeBron is one of the greatest players. He'll be one of the greatest players to ever play this game. He's one of the best players in the NBA today. He's one of the most popular players in the NBA today. And he is an MVP. He's won MVPs. He's won NBA championships. The NBA scoring title is impressive. And he will have a Hall of Fame career. But he's not Michael Jordan.